Okay, we are live. All right, let me see your vape. Let me see it. Like what's the like decoration on it? Like what is it?
It's just what it looks like. It's just the design of it all. It's gummy bears. That's what the
So
smoke tastes like, gummy bears.
so if I had one, which I don't, but
I would put a half a
what
pound of marijuana in yours. But go ahead.
I would literally need it. But what style, like what case thingy decoration do you think I would have on there?
Either zebra print, cheetah print, leopard print. That's what you would have on yours.
Or fur?
Ooh,
Like they don't have a fur one. That would be cute.
that's
Like
probably
that
would
would
be
be
a good one.
cute. Or or like diamond like rhinestones or something. It would be extra. It definitely would. But all right. So our topic tonight is a topic that you came up with. So what made you think about this type of topic, Miss D? Miss
Because
Thing?
it's all over, the internet. Everybody's talking about red flags and do we ignore them and why do we ignore them and just everything red flags associated with. Men are even posting red flags, so
Men are posted they the
yeah.
audacity.
Mm. The gall, right.
I bet the ones posted it too are the ones that literally need to
Yeah,
never in their life
yeah.
talk about somebody else with red flags.
And they know every red flag because they're a walking red flag.
Because they created it. They invented the flag, like the red flags. Of course they know. Like, what are you talking girl,
Yeah.
when I'm on YouTube and I see the people the guys that are saying certain things, I'm like, really?
Hmm.
Yeah, you could really talk. So we're talking about red flags and we okay, question. Why do we ignore them? I just want to know. Like, we see them, they're there. What are we doing? Why do we turn the cheek and be like, I didn't see that? We
Because
seen it.
yeah, but I think it's so the red flags are so common that I think most women feel like they all have them. So you got to pick the least lethal red flags and see if and just perhaps every now and then you meet someone who is into self-development, growth, um, and they themselves, if you say, I'm not comfortable with, this or that, they'll be like, you know what? I didn't realize I was doing that. And poof, there goes the red flag. It's gone.
Did
So I
you
think
did did you ever come across somebody like that? I can't recall. I don't think so. Not
um
me.
like okay, so I think it's easier to understand it in this way. Like, so in the very beginning of the relationship, the red flags may be subtle, right? So you have a
Yeah.
subtle red flag that you speak on because you're
Okay.
like, oh, hell no, right?
Right.
And
Right.
he then says, I'm sorry, like I didn't realize I was doing that. And he says he's going to correct the behavior. A
Mm.
lot of times, that is why we then ignore it after that because he's working on it. And I think that's a rationalization for a lot of women that have that option. But if you don't and you see it and you ignore it, it's because you want what you want more than yourself. Period.
Bingo. Bingo.
Period. You want what you want.
Exclamation point. Exclamation point. Like,
Hmm.
or and we think that miraculously, because we're so fabulous and so
Amazing and
sweet
all that.
and
Hmm.
yeah, that they're just changed for us.
That is a costly emotional error that most women make,
We
thinking
do it. Mm-hmm.
that, and I'm going to say this from experience.
Yeah,
One,
we do.
talking about it with the person, and then they say they're going to do something about it, and then they don't.
Mm-mm.
So in that moment, each woman has to own what they just created, because at the end of the day, he knew
Preach.
his red flags, he knows who he is.
Yep.
Now he's showing you who he is.
Mm-hmm.
That's his only that's his only way of giving you an option. There, that right then and there, with most men,
Right.
if you don't opt out, you're buying into it.
You're buying and
So
you're
at
making it
that
worse.
point, it's shut up or put up. So then as a
Mm-hmm.
woman, you have to determine, is that red flag a deal breaker or no? And a lot of women don't think they're deal breakers. But what you disliked about somebody when you first met them is typically the reason why you leave them.
True.
So,
What you overlook is what is going to be the deal breaker later.
yeah. And I
It's gonna
had a
get worse.
conversation about this, and basically, I, I completely understand it from a male's point of view. So, if a man feels like she ignored the red flags, you have just given up the right to continue to complain about said red flag. Period. That's really hard
Yeah,
for women to stomach because we're so
it's
used to
true.
just being like, but you said you were gonna not do that anymore, or I thought you loved
Right.
me. And at the end of the day, when someone shows you in a healthy way that they love themselves more than you, celebrate it. There's nothing wrong with that. But when it's unhealthy and it's selfish,
Yeah.
don't ignore that. Don't ignore that. Period.
Run. Take it. Take that thing. Put it in your pocket and run that away. And don't turn around ever. Just keep going. Just
Yeah.
go. Just go. It's not going to change. You can't change them. A baby can't change them. Nothing's going to change the person unless they want
In
to be
some
changed.
cases, marriage doesn't change them either.
No.
It
What?
doesn't.
No. Why
So,
do people think that why do people in toxic okay, so it's toxic and then they're like, oh, let's make it better. How? That
yeah.
just made it worse. I mean,
Well, yeah, and the second red flag that comes from that is the controlling behavior. So now you've shown her your red flags,
hmm
and she's going to go. Now you gotta reel her back in. So whether that is sweet words, changing the
love
behavior,
bombing.
temper, love bombing,
Okay.
temporarily, um,
hmm
acting like you're that guy. And I think men need to understand it's okay if you're not.
Yeah.
We're really okay with that. What women are not okay with is, when are we able to simply just take what a man says at face value and keep it going?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you want someone in your life, you're going to hear them,
hmm
you are going to respect them, you're going to trust
Absolutely.
them.
hmm
And if you can't do that and you're mature enough to talk about why, you can have some resolve. But a lot of these men walking around with these red flags don't have an answer to it because that is who they are. So there is no
And
resolve.
it's none. And they're not mature enough to have that conversation without
Not
getting
at all.
offended. Like, why are
Exactly.
you offended? Like, this is something that's called communication. And you're supposed to be
Right.
able to communicate with one another and tell each other, okay, well, this I don't really like that, or
Hmm.
this kind of hurt my feelings without it getting becoming a war zone. That's the issue as well.
Hmm.
So it's like, ladies, the red flags are red. They're not going to turn yellow because you want them to. They're not going to
No.
disappear because we act like we don't see them. They're still there,
Yeah.
and usually it just gets worse and worse. So
You know, a good dick will make you ignore a red flag or two. It
yeah,
it
yeah.
never fails. The men, most of the time, that are absolutely not good for women are very good in bed because that's all they have to offer. That's it.
Overcompensate. Yeah.
If they weren't good in bed, because half of them Yeah, if they just weren't good in bed, they probably wouldn't have certain type of women around them
But
just
that's a
because.
thing. But see, that's a thing that we are. I feel like that's like a requirement in most cases, right? That it's good, right? But
Hmm.
what if we just switch that and instead of making that a requirement, the requirement is that you respect me
You know why? Because
because you
the
can't feel respect. I don't know.
yeah, like the probability, right?
Hmm.
In today's day and age where men generally respect women is fading,
Yeah, it's
you
true.
know. So
Hmm.
when a woman is reduced to a fat ass or full lips, I mean, what
That's
type of
it.
man, if he's looking for a, a life partner or someone that he wants to have around or several someones he wants to have around,
Yeah,
there's going to be a balance to that, and you won't see the red flags because he's actually putting in an effort to do something that makes him happy, and in turn, it might
yeah,
make you happy, you know.
hmm,
But I think, with the red flags, like trust is a big one, um,
huge.
and not like how people like really like traditionally think of it. I think of it in the way of trust for me is holding yourself accountable. So if I'm only being held accountable and you are not, that's a serious trust issue for me. And a lot of red flag guys come with that mindset.
Yeah,
I can do this, 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 and this. And I don't
hmm,
have a problem with a man saying, this is who I am,
yeah,
take it or leave it. What I have a problem with is when you see the red flag and then they say, they placate you and they gaslight you. Instead of just man up, be who you really are. So I can move accordingly,
right.
and not in a foul way, but in a, I really know what this is.
Yeah,
I'm not blindsided by anything. I don't have any surprises. He's being
right,
transparent. It's up to me to decide whether I can deal with it, I like it, I
right.
don't like it, or I'm
Hmm.
going to tolerate it because of XYZ. Some people have children, some people financially stuck to someone. Like, there's
Yep.
different reasons why. But I just think if we pay attention to what's important to us, always, like people do, you just pay attention a little bit more to yourself. You probably will miss some red flags, but it's a good thing because you're not even focused on them anyway.
Yeah.
It doesn't even matter. Let the world have the red flags. They can have it. Nobody cares. But I just think
Nobody
like,
cares, and nobody wants
it
it at the end of the day.
not at all, but someone coming into a relationship with zero trust, or all they speak about is, I don't trust anybody. I don't, like, come on. No, who cares? You're the red flag. Why don't you trust? That's a red flag. Like they think they're being protective, but in the end all you're doing is really just cornering yourself off from someone that, could be one, not toxic, or that's the other one too in relationships, or when you see someone is constantly in toxic relationships, that's a red flag. I mean, what are you getting out of that it's worth the time or the energy or the physical, attentiveness to someone that does that? I know when I went through it, I felt like, hmm, as long as he kept telling me
Hmm.
that he was going to make things better, it's I'm going to go with that
That's enough. Yeah.
until I see something else. So
Yep.
when I see that, and it really boils down to consistency. If a man is consistent and intentional with a woman,
Hmm.
the only red flag there should be is like none.
Zero.
But if you're not intentional, then it's kind of like you're just rolling some dice out here. You're
Going with the
gonna
wind,
get
like
what you
whatever.
get. They used
Right.
to say
Whatever
like
happens,
men are
happens.
they used to say like men are like dogs, and it's not true. I say
No.
this all the time. Dogs are loyal,
Right. Right.
and that's okay if men don't want to
Hmm.
be monogamous. I'm not trying to bash men. What I'm saying is how we navigate that though. I think that is underestimated and how that's challenging for women. I mean, I'm sure men that want to settle down, find a good woman and live a life, uh,
Hmm.
they're paying attention to red flags because they're being intentional in how they're dating. But when you're not really being intentional, you could miss a lot of them. You can miss a lot of them just for, I think sex is a big deal. A lot of people will ignore red flags over that, and especially a lot of women.
Hmm.
It's sad, you know, um, or financial, you know, a lot
Hmm.
of women end up being stuck in situations, but they saw the red flags of the controlling behavior, but they're stuck. Um, or they have that their red flag was potential emotional abuse, and they don't even realize that they're being emotionally abused until other people might notice it, or they're at a
Right.
breaking point and then they have to
Right.
share it with someone. And so red flags can get pretty deep if
Yeah.
missed, if but I think to give men some credit, being transparent is a beautiful thing. It
It is.
really is. It's
It is.
unintentional for a lot of them,
Hmm.
but those that are, live their lives like, what, this is who I am off
Right.
jump.
Right.
Yeah, I can respect that. I really can. Rather than someone that placates you along the way or gaslights you. That's when those red flags make you regret your life because you're like, wow. And I don't think women regret necessarily the person at that point. They regret the fact that they thought beyond the negativity of this person and find themselves in a sunken place or just somewhere that they didn't think they'd be emotionally because they did ignore the red flags.
Because we always want to see, not all of us, obviously, but the women I know, we want to see the best in people. We want
Right.
to, like
You want to build people
we
up.
want
And
to
so you're
build
not looking for the
people.
negative. You're literally living in a
Exactly.
cloud of, this is great. And
This
there's
is great,
nothing wrong
and
with that.
it's dangerous
It can.
when you are dealing with the wrong person, because as nurturers, we do that. We nurture. We're
Hmm.
open. We're loving. Obviously, I'm not talking about all, but women, we are this way. This is who we are, and it's
We
like
can, yeah.
we overlook things and we give second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh chances, knowing we wouldn't have gotten one chance. After, like it's over.
Right. It's
Okay,
over.
we don't get that.
Literally. Hmm.
Like
And
it's
I think,
over.
be, when you ignore a red flag, right?
Uh-huh.
And you are dealing with a man's ego when you challenge him and speak on it, you know,
Right.
again, right at that point, how he responds to you when you speak up about the first red flag is literally the blueprint for your relationship. That is how it's going to
Exactly.
go 95% of the time
It
because
doesn't
there
matter
is
the age.
5%, not
Yep.
at all, no, because there is a
Doesn't
5
matter how long it's been.
5% of
Doesn't
no, it
Yeah, it
doesn't
doesn't
matter.
matter. Nothing matters. It doesn't matter if you guys grew up together. It doesn't matter if you married. It doesn't matter if you have kids. It doesn't matter. None of it matters that you guys have history. No, this is the blueprint. This is who the person is. And I think we need to literally step back and like accept them for who they are.
Mhm.
Okay. But I don't have to deal with it. And I can do this. And I can go that way. And I think that the issue is we want to change people. We want to fix people. We want to, I'm tired. I don't want to fix somebody. I don't want to do it. I don't. When I was younger, I didn't see that that was the issue.
Mhm.
And now that I'm grown, I don't want to fix anybody. Like,
Yeah, and
no.
I know me personally, I don't ever want to fix someone. I want to help them be the best version of themselves because that's what I'm doing. So
Mm,
I'm trying to align people with my values as well, you know, by
hmm.
modeling what that looks like, what
Yeah.
that looks like to be healthy, what that looks like not to be a liar, what that looks like not to be malicious, what that looks like to be attentive to someone's needs, what that looks like to pay attention to someone long enough when you know they're upset, when you know they're happy, you know? And for me, like everybody has their own sets of red flags. There's obvious ones like abusive, cursing, there's physical, like there's dangerous
Hmm.
red flags.
Hmm.
I'm talking about those subtle red flags that we
Like,
think, did I just catch that? And then you don't speak
yeah.
on it because you're like, no, I'm tripping. I'm tripping. And then you see it
Yep.
over and over and you realize that's who you are. Mm.
Like, for example, the lack of empathy.
Oh, that is a
That,
huge red flag.
and it's so subtle,
Run, ladies,
like
run.
quickly. It's like if you can't, okay, it's a lot of different layers to that.
A
That
stranger will
person,
be kinder to you before they
yeah,
will.
yeah, yeah. And they can't accept, they don't have accountability. That's no, that's where it comes from. It's
Zero,
the first one. One thing is they don't think they're wrong ever.
ever.
Then they can't even apologize. If they do, it's this is apology, their apology. I'm sorry you took it that way.
Exactly.
I'm
Every time.
sorry
That is
you
the
felt
most
that way.
amazing. Yep.
That's
That is
not an
not an
apology.
apology. It's not an apology.
Ladies, that's not an apology, chicas. No, 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 no. So,
Mm-mm.
so again, listen to what it's saying though. I'm, I apologize, or I'm sorry that you took what I said or I did the way you took it.
Hmm.
No, 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 because that's still not putting the responsibility on you, the accountability on you of what you said or what you did. It's throwing it back to me. But see, that's the subtle things because all we hear in our mind, in our ears, is apology. I apologize. I'm sorry.
Hmm.
But you didn't hear the other words that follow. And those are the key words right there. And it's so, when you're hurting, when you feel disrespected and you hear, I'm sorry, that's why your brain literally stops right there because you're
Yeah,
thinking,
because you're like, oh,
I got the apology. You didn't get the
and it's
apology.
followed up with a but you, but you,
Mhm. But if
yeah,
you, I apologize, but if you didn't do that, I wouldn't
yeah,
have acted that way. Or I
hmm,
wouldn't have said that. I'm
right,
sorry. If that's, and this is another one, I'm sorry. Are we good now?
yeah,
No, you're just trying to pacify me. That's not sincere. These are that's the lack of empathy. And you
hmm,
can't teach someone how to have empathy. It's something
no,
you are
no,
naturally born with or you just naturally have. Don't think you can teach someone how to care
right.
about your feelings. You cannot. It's
A
not
man
going to
that wants a
happen.
woman that just like a fact. And I think women need to realize this. And if we could realize this earlier, like younger
Mm.
in our like teens,
Teens.
preteens, that
Yes.
if someone wants you around and in their life and you matter, your emotions matter, your
Yep.
opinions matter,
Hmm.
and their level of respect for you is unrivaled.
Yep.
So when you don't see that, you have to be honest with yourself and just
Yep.
say, I'm not her. Because how many times do we enter into relationships or surround ourselves with people who are just riddled with red flags?
Mm.
Mm, give them the opportunity to be in your space.
Yep.
They violate the space and
Absolutely.
you're
All the
upset at
time.
them.
Hmm.
We have to be accountable and start
Yes.
owning our part
Mm-hmm.
that we play in it, because I know I had played a part in my
Me too.
own ignorant red
Demise.
flags. Like
My own
literally,
demise.
it
Oh.
took me to, hmm, how do I say it? It took me to like really make me rethink how I approach people and how I let people in my circle,
Mm-hmm.
you know, a red flag in business. For me, building the brand with Bronx Made Lemonades is fun, it's exciting, it's nerve-wracking, it's all those things. But my challenge is as a woman going out here to bars, going out here and speaking to a lot of men is
Mm-hmm.
that as a businesswoman, I have no options but to shut down business red flags that cross over. You know how many men ask me, hey, do I can I call you on this phone number? Is this your personal number? Come back, let's have drinks. And in that moment, there's a red flag.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yep.
this is one of those times where I can never ignore those because as you want respect, you know me. How
Yeah.
many nights were we out? How many celebrities have we been around?
Yep.
The
Yep.
lifestyle of imagine being, and there's plenty of women that just give into that, but
Yeah.
I'm not one of them because that's how I
Mm.
was respected. That's how doors opened up for me
Exactly.
because I was solid,
Exactly.
because I didn't give
Exactly.
in and I didn't have
Exactly.
to
Yep.
negotiate any part of my
Yep.
body, any part of my time for business. I don't have a problem with that.
Nope.
Will it take me a little bit longer? Absolutely.
Yep.
But that's who I am. So that's my life. I'm used to it. I'm used to a man in position attempting to use
Yeah.
that position.
Yeah.
All that does is make me more, I have to just dig a little deeper and go around that person, you know, literally go
Absolutely.
around that person.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't stop. They don't stop the hustle. They just, eh, today's not the day. Tomorrow's a new day. But, those red flags are everywhere, especially when you feel like you're in a position where you want what they have.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, and that's the crazy part because I've never faltered in business, but I've given into red flags in personal relationships, friendships, and romantic relationships. And I just think it's interesting that at some point it just hit me that like I'm just too badass for that. Like a
Yeah.
red flag's a red
Absolutely.
flag. And I do want the people that are fortunate enough to be in my life to live their best lives.
Absolutely.
I don't get on my homegirls when they just they be a red flag. You are who you are. And
Mm-hmm.
that's important to always let people be who they are.
Yep.
But I think women have to move accordingly and stop feeling like, I keep hearing something about this ratio, this male to female ratio out here. I don't know. I've never experienced it. I've never been in the back of a line when it came to dating or people being interested in me,
Ever.
despite
Right.
there being more women to men in Atlanta. This is a paradise of people.
Yeah. Yeah.
As one
I
goes,
don't.
one comes.
It never
It
affected
just
me.
depends on who you are, Never,
Mm-hmm.
never. So, I just think like she's got to make smarter decisions and
I.
and own it and acknowledge that if people are nowadays more likely coming with these red flags because of emotional trauma or this
Mm-hmm.
or that or it is what it is. But as women, we've got to be honest with ourselves. What part did I play in this? And if you're
Right.
accepting the fact that you cannot change someone, but you
Right.
have to recall that you've actually part of you teaching someone how to treat you is what you accept and what you do not. Accept the fact that when you ignored that red flag, you probably lost some respect from him. So all
Absolutely.
152 red flags has reduced you to someone less than perhaps the whore he's sleeping with.
Mm-hmm.
who maybe
Mhm.
held her to higher regard. Why?
Mhm.
Because he didn't call her back the other night, and now
Right.
she's just gonna ignore him and block him because she's not gonna tolerate it. You know why?
Exactly.
She saw it. She's not with the shits. She wants what she wants, and she's standing on it.
Yeah. And you stand on it, and that's the thing. And don't waver. Stand on it and do not waver. I think you need to treat your relationships, whether it's friendships, well, friendships, there's definitely red flags too with that. Um, but I think like relationships need to be treated nowadays like a business, because I feel like if in business you see the red flags and you're like, I'm good, then
Yeah,
we need to have the same criteria for
exactly.
relationships, because
Exactly. It's just switching modes. It's just switching
that's
modes.
it.
And I
That's
think
it.
women, when you realize that you can switch back over and back to your reality, because that's really what it is. You
Hmm.
just ignore reality
Hmm.
momentarily, or years or days or months, whatever the duration
Hmm.
is. Don't beat yourself up about it. Stop tolerating it. And whatever that comes with is whatever it comes with. There's a million men in this world.
Hmm. A
If that's
million and
what you
one.
want and that's all you want, where you feel like this particular person loves you so much that you can, what is it, what's that dating rule? What is it, 80-20%? Somebody should have at least
Hmm.
80% of the qualities you're looking for in that 20%. Can you put somebody's red flags in that 20%? Sure. And that's just what you live with. That is your relationship. You're going to make it what it is. But as women, once a person doesn't correct a behavior, I think men would prefer that we have to make a decision. Let it go, or you go.
Because they will. They do it
Absolutely.
quickly.
Absolutely.
They do it quickly. They see a red flag. Oh,
Hmm.
she's crazy. That's
Yeah.
that. They out.
But don't get it twisted. There's lots of men out here, because we keep forgetting it takes two to tango. So
Hmm.
who are these women sleeping with? They're sleeping with these men that are out there just waiting. And the
Hmm.
reality of it is one, they say one person's trash is another one's treasure. One person's red flag is another one's like heart eye emoji. Like, some people thrive in chaos, and
Oh
that's the
God,
reality. They
I
thrive on the
cannot.
chaos.
I cannot. I cannot. I cannot. I cannot. I
Have
it
you ever
just
had a
hearing
great day? But here's an example of it. Whether you're at work or
hearing
you're
the
with your
word
friends, if you
chaos.
have a great day,
Ugh.
right? And then you come and you're happy and you're on cloud nine and you're like, this is great. This is what happened to me. And the other person purposely goes, all right, cool, good. And that's it. There's no more shared joy. Red flag. He's not interested, sis,
At
at
all.
all. At all.
Nope. At
Or the
all.
only
At
time he's
all.
interested in you is when someone else is interested in you, or he thinks someone else is interested in you. Red flag.
Hmm. Hmm.
Like, ideally, I used to think, because you know how my life was, I really used to think, like, one of these days I'm just gonna be like a whole trophy wife. Like, for real. Not
Right.
that I'm not going to be that. And not in the I shouldn't say that, because people, the traditional term of a trophy wife is unfitting for me, because I'm
Hmm.
ambitious and I'm an entrepreneur and I've owned businesses. So I don't fall into that. I'm just never gonna do nothing with myself and just look pretty.
Right.
No, I'm gonna be a
Hmm.
boss and look pretty.
Hmm.
Now, whether
At the
that's
same time.
on, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
getting baby oil rubbed on my butt on a yacht, like, it is what it is. So I have high standards,
Right.
and I don't have time for red flags. I'm trying to get to $1 million in a year. Do you hear me? So, red flags for me, especially now where I'm super laser focused
Right.
on what's important to me,
Right.
I I can say I might be a little oblivious to a red flag, but that's okay, because I'm focused on me. I'm literally
Is it?
focused on me.
But is it oblivious, or is it I don't care because whatever? Do what you're
No,
doing
I
because I got
care, but
something to
I'm
do.
too busy to notice.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, do what you do. I got stuff to do.
Yeah,
Like, I'm not going to
yeah.
feed into this right now. Yeah.
If I have to interrupt my hustle to address it, I don't need to be with you.
Houston, we have a problem.
Yeah, I don't need to be with you because the one thing in the world that women like us never lack is people that are interested in who we are.
Mm-hmm.
And
True.
that's really important in business
Mm-hmm.
for people to want to have a conversation with you, to want you to come through the door, to be
Right.
interested enough to hear you out.
Right.
So in my world, if someone isn't that,
Mhm.
I don't have the energy or the time, you
Zero
know?
energy. Zero
Yeah,
energy, zero care, zero time. All of it
yeah,
zero. It's just
yep.
all zero. And another red flag is, and this one is if you're crying and he's able to not care,
That's a
no
big deal.
remorse, no, they don't cry. Like, okay, maybe I was harsh, or okay, I understand what you're saying. I was wrong. Literally walk out the room, open the door until you get out,
Go cry in the
step
other room,
over
please.
you. Right. Step over you like doop, 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 like nothing ever happened.
Yeah,
Or they tell you, what you crying for? That's some dumb shit you crying about. Excuse me? Like, even if they don't agree with what you're crying about, it's your feeling though. And your
right,
feeling is how you're feeling. So it doesn't matter if I think something is stupid as hell. If the person feels like it's
it
a
matters
big
to them
deal, it
and you care
matters to
about
them.
them. Right,
It matters to me. If you feel like, Ra, if something I said or did was out of order, and I don't think, well, I'm just not, I'm oblivious to it, and you're
right.
telling me, that really hurt my feelings. But, oh, okay, I'm sorry. That's how you feel. I'm not gonna say that's stupid because I
Yeah,
don't feel like you should feel that way. How you gonna tell me how I feel? Can you tell me that?
right, right.
How you gonna do? Where that happens at? Where? How does that make sense? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
So you empathy is a natural feeling, right?
right. When you
It's
give a
supposed to
shit.
be. It's supposed to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
I get teary eyed, and I don't do animals. Okay, you're the animal, mommy, doggy whisperer.
Uh,
However, if I see an animal on the television or anywhere, and like they're in a bad situation, or they're scared, or they're crying, that hurts me. It
right,
makes me feel some kind of way. Okay, I don't have to be the doggy whisperer to care
right,
if a dog is
right.
abused or hurt or cold or hungry.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Right.
it's the empathy that
Mm-hmm.
ignites. I don't like cats. I'm scared of those things. Okay. However, I don't want anyone to torture a cat.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like
Mm-hmm. But
the
that's how deep it
empathy.
is. But that's how deep it
Yeah.
is. And I think women need to realize that. Some men actually have a disdain for women, low key.
Yeah, they do. Deep in
So
here.
if
Yep.
you grow up secretly despising women
Exactly.
typically because you had an experience
Yep.
that was
Yep.
negative and it
Yep.
shaped your view, so
Mhm.
subconsciously you lack
Mhm.
respect for women,
Mhm.
you show this and it keeps popping its head up. But
Yep.
no woman wants to believe the person that she's with is that diabolical. And I think that's what makes it easy because let's use
Yep.
the example of the little commercial where the dogs come on and the people
Right.
are like, for 30 cents a week,
Yes.
you can keep Pepe out of this shelter.
Right.
If you don't, if you can just watch that and just be like, ah, it sucks to be them. And some people can because they don't have a, they don't care.
They don't
But when
care.
it comes to another
Mhm.
human being,
Right.
if you're able to compartmentalize pulling out snippets of emotion for someone or
Exactly.
purposely rationing something
Right.
for control. Yeah,
Exactly.
hella big red flag. But again,
Huge
as
red flag.
women, we think it is not who they are. And we have to accept the fact that, like Maya Angelou said, when someone shows you who they are, believe them, right?
That's it. I mean, it's so
That is
simple, and I
true.
wish I wish it was so simple back, like when I was a teenager. I wish it's literally that simple. That's it.
It really is.
Don't try to rewrite what they're saying. Don't try to rationalize. Don't try to analyze. Don't no. I mean,
But then on the
I
flip
operate.
side to that, like, I'm sorry, do you ever think that, like, so if a woman speaks on it and then now the man is like, the gig is up, now she knows,
Mhm.
and then they combat that with love bombing. Women need to be aware of the love bomb.
Of what that is. That's the thing. We're not mirroring, and it's another term I learned today. It's called mirroring.
Hmm.
And from what I gather,
Yeah.
mirroring is when it's the image, right? The mirror is a reflection, right? You look in the mirror,
Hmm.
you see a reflection. The mirroring is that person becomes the reflection that you actually want to see.
Hmm.
But it's only out in the outside. It's
Yeah,
not.
it is.
It's just a mask. It literally is a mask. It's not really them. It's not.
Hmm.
So love bombing and mirroring is something that needs to be taught everywhere.
Can you imagine if instead of like we used to have to take shop or home ec, it's like dating and
Narc.
banking 101.
Yeah,
Those are the options. Dating and banking. Which class are you gonna take? You
I'm
need to learn how
taking
to balance it,
right.
handle your money properly because so many people are in debt because they just weren't taught financial
Yep. Yep.
responsibility. And then you have the other thing. It's no three things. You should have a parenting,
Hmm.
right? How to keep yourself up and how to manage your finances.
Hmm.
Those three things should be offered in high school. So at least
Hmm.
when you get to college, you're not a whole asshole that doesn't know how to manage money and is running around sleeping with everybody or womanizing the world.
And
Right.
narc 101.
Yeah, yeah. That's
101.
mm,
That
yeah. A
like
narcissist covers so many categories that I, I'm
you,
I'm I'm enamored with. I I find them so interesting and challenging, and they when you're aware of it, you're just like you're amazing. Up incoming. I
doggy doggy
can't.
doggy 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 doggy.
What? All right, come here, fatty.
I just want some attention, mom. Girl or boy? I don't remember.
Okay, she's just wiggly. This is Sadie.
Okay.
Yeah, Sadie's a little hyper.
I see. I see. Pretty much. Okay, so wait. Another red flag is when they tell you you can't do something.
Yes, the controlling behavior.
Now, now, it's one thing to say, you know what? I don't know. That kind of
I'm
that
uncomfortable with
I'm
that, babe.
uncomfortable with that, or that don't look right, or blah blah. But no, you can't do that. No, you're not doing that. No, you ain't.
Hmm. Or they say why you want to do it. So they say, "Oh, you want to wear that because you want men to look at you," or
Yeah, that's it. I need it. I need that. I need to wear that for that to happen.
yeah.
Dude, a roller is in my hair with sweatpants on
But
and
I think
chancletas at the bodega is all it needs to happen. I don't need to do
right.
that. All of that,
Yeah.
not me.
Uh-huh. Not at all.
Never,
Yoga pants and
never,
a t-shirt, killing it. Yoga pants and a
ever,
t-shirt.
ever with
Not
lip
a
gloss. That's
not a
it.
heel and chapstick and eyeliner. Hmm. Yeah.
Hello. I mean, what are you
Yeah.
talking about? Those, but see, we take that as, oh my gosh, he loves me and he just
He just
doesn't want
doesn't want
anybody else to
anyone to
see me.
see me. Yeah. And that's true. Let's give
No,
men some credit. They don't
that
want
is
other
that part is
men
true.
to see you, but it's
Yeah,
the reason why.
right,
Because
right.
I don't care. Men hide insecurities so well.
Hmm.
And at the end of the day, if you feel the need to control everything in my life, that's your insecurity, not my own.
We have a problem. That's a
If you can't
problem.
let your significant other go out into the world, and
Right.
it's subtle, it starts from an example
Yep.
of like, there's no woman on the earth that has a cheating significant other and she's going to go out and buy him things like cologne or new clothes. She's just not, you
Mhm.
know, because you automatically assume that the person is, you're just going to do dirt with it anyway. I'm not going to help you.
Right.
But when you are focused on you and you are a healthy thinking individual, you don't get sucked into that. So
Yeah.
you make sure that they're still good. They're always good. They still represent you when they leave the house. And that's
Yeah.
the healthy control, not healthy control, but that's how it should be. It should be, I want her to look amazing. Um,
Yep.
but men are visual. So obviously, a man assumes based on what he does. If walking out with little teeny tiny shorts on and cleavage is going to get you attention, but what they don't know is you get more attention when you have a messy bun because low key, men want to see what they're working with. They
Yep.
actually love the gym girl
Yep.
because she doesn't have any makeup on. He gets to see who
Yep.
she is, he sees her full body.
Yep. Yep.
It's way more impressive than just going out with your friends and showing ass and titties. And it's real. So I
And
get why
hmm
some men act that way because your girl is still ridiculous without it. So if you let her
without
go
it.
out with it,
Mm.
the assumption is
Hmm.
she's going to get attention and she might like it. But the reality of it is we're bombarded with attention. So we're kind
All
of
the
numb to
time.
it. That's what
All the
makes it
time.
easy for us to be faithful in relationships because we have been inundated with dick since we were young. It's handed to us without question. There's never strings attached. It's whatever you want when you want it. We can get approached in the bank, at the corner store, at the gas station, the car wash, pet
Publix,
groomers. Uh huh. Uh huh.
laundromat.
And every
Um.
woman has that story of every time I walk out the house without makeup on, I run into everybody. Yeah.
Yep.
Hmm.
Exactly. But I
So I
think that
get,
the
I get it, but I think men need to own where it's coming from.
and if they feel that way, I always feel like, well, maybe that's because that's what you do though. Like
Oh,
every
no
time
doubt.
a girl walks by
Projection.
with
It's
short, yeah,
absolutely.
like
I'm gonna give you an
okay,
example. I was dating this guy, and I had been complaining and complaining and complaining, like, bro, you're like, it was a new experience for me because he didn't pay as much attention to me as the men had did in my past. So that was a red flag for me because it wasn't my norm. So I knew then I didn't have his full attention, but it didn't quite sink in
uh-huh,
until I played back how he speaks to me. And
okay,
I realized when he speaks to me, he would say, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. It was never we. And I knew that,
hmm,
but I stayed because it wasn't as offensive. It was selfish. So I'm
yeah,
thinking, this person is just selfish. I'm not going to
red flag.
really say that's a red flag. If you were a single guy and you've been single for years, you're still speaking I, because I was forgetting my own golden rule. When a man wants you and you speak and say, this bothers me or I'm uncomfortable, he's either going to change the behavior or not. And
That's it.
since I felt like, I spoke on the I thing, like, you don't say we. That's a little odd to me. Literally, that's how I said it. Because I find it interesting.
Yeah.
Just say why. And then it was, oh, my bad. I just been single so long. Lying is a red flag.
Huge. Huge.
I somehow thought that makes sense because it did. And I think it's so
Mhm.
hard for women to navigate red flags because when someone says they acknowledge it and it makes sense, the reason why they were doing it, you're like, huh, all right. I don't agree with it, but it
That
makes
makes
sense.
sense.
It wasn't until we were sitting in a car one day and I think we were getting food or something like that.
Mhm.
And I saw this girl. I was in the car. He went in to get the food. And I saw this brick house get out her car. And I thought, ooh, wee, nice. So I'm looking at her and I'm like, wow, that's like one of the best BBLs ever. I don't care what she said. She just, her legs was too skinny, girl. I know it wasn't her. She wasn't born like that. But all that waist that she was dragging, it was stupid. And I
Mhm.
said to myself, this is going to be interesting because we're not standing next to each other.
Mhm.
And in the past, he has literally turned his head around to look at a woman.
Girl.
So I'm thinking, I'm just going to look and see how does he respond to this one? Because that's what my expectation was. That's when I knew I fucked up. I'm expecting him to do it.
Right.
So
His
now
head would have been swivel on a
he
swivel.
didn't. He didn't, which I found interesting. And I actually said, aw, see, I'm overthinking. And so I see her go get her food.
Uh-huh.
I see her come out before him. And now I'm like, well, he can watch her as she walks in front of him because now he's coming out the door. So she's in front of us. The car is, if you open her door, she's got to get in her door. He's got to get in the driver's seat as well. So one of them's got to wait. He lets her go, but there's not enough room. She opens the car door. He still can't see the ass. Do you know this little sorry son of a bitch waited until he got in the car with me and turned his whole head around to catch that ass?
His head was still attached to his body.
Yes, you know why? Because it's not his fault. It's mine. I ignored the red flags of disrespect. Why would I
Wow.
expect them to respect me in that moment? And I think as women, we have to own it, period. I saw it. I explained it away. And by all outward appearances, it looked like I was okay with it. I wasn't.
So what? Okay, let's go back real quick. When it happened the first few times, did you not? You didn't say anything.
No, I did. And
What did you say?
I said, it's because I have rules. Like I would always want my partner to be uh, just be themselves, be human. We're
Mm-hmm.
gonna look.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Your eyeballs can go, but once your head moves, that's
I got a
disrespectful to
problem.
me. So
Yeah.
that's what I said to him. I don't mind that you look, but if you are by me, do not ever disrespect me by,
Right.
don't do that. One, I'm not the type of woman you do that to, because
At
you
all.
just gave the guy on the line over there that's been staring at me the go ahead to really,
Yep.
because he sees you don't give a damn. He
Right.
like, oh, you not looking,
Exactly.
but I am.
Yep.
It's such a double-edged sword for men that play that game because, like I said, for weak-minded women, those numbers are in their favor. If it's quantity over quality, it's numbers hands down. We could be disastrous by the amount
Yeah.
of men, but
Yeah.
when you're looking for quality, you're not phased by the guy that is walking with his girlfriend but is staring you down while you with your man. Like,
No. That's like disgusting. So when you
knock
said
it off.
something, what did he say?
That's what he said. Like, oh, you're right. You're right. My bad. And it's like, oh my, that was a whole apology. Not not as not as sweet or, but it was
My
definitely an
bad.
apology. And so it's like,
Whatever.
okay, so now when you've done this to me in such a blatant way, you leave me no alternative. I got to look out for me. So that means that you're not, that's not going to work.
At all.
It's just not going to work. And more women need to say that and stop feeling like age is a factor. Stop feeling that weight
Please.
is a
At all.
factor. Stop
Nope.
feeling that the number of children you have is a factor. Stop
Nope.
feeling like you're not where you want to be in your career is a factor. Um,
None of it's a
whether
factor.
whether it's just doing what's best for yourself,
Yeah.
or if you genuinely care about that person, let them go be with who is better for them. If you genuinely care, let him go. He's for the streets anyway. Let the streets have him. Don't fight it. If the streets lure him in, let them have him. Period.
Come
He
in.
wasn't yours to keep,
Exactly. Exactly.
and that's okay too. It's not about um, re- recreating recreating something that isn't true and making it
Right.
true. And that's the
No.
ultimate reality that a lot of women we can go to quickly as a part of whatever it is, self-preservation. You're looking, whatever those reasons that we listed earlier, like financial, emotional, physical.
Hmm.
Because for some women, it is just about sex, and that's just fine. As long as he's laying it down, they will overlook this or overlook that.
I could care less.
Um,
I could care
yeah.
less. I could
Well, I
care. I
think,
could care zero. Zero. For real. I don't care.
yeah,
Like,
absolutely. Well, I
that's
think that when you're a certain caliber
mm-mm,
woman, you don't have to care because, like I
mm-mm,
said, when you're a certain caliber woman, none of those factors matter.
mm-mm,
Age, weight, height, none of that matters.
mm-mm, at
None of
all.
that. It's
And the
just a
last,
matter of what how she wants to be respected and not ignore them.
exactly.
Respect, disrespect, red flags, they never go away. That is who they
They just
are.
get, it just gets worse at the end of the day. It'll always get worse. It's not gonna
But let's own why it gets
get
worse
better
because we've
because you
accepted it.
allow them.
Right. So that
Only
one that one made it. So now there's another one and another one and another one, and they're gonna keep trying you until
a
you.
person is only going to treat you the way you allow them to treat you. Like,
Yep.
you have to give the okay, and it starts the okay start building up, and then by the end of the day, you have zero boundaries, you have zero everything. Like, you
Yeah.
just lost the whole game. The whole game is done. You're done. Just throw in
Hmm.
the flag because you, and then you want to
Yeah.
try to rebuild it. It's not going to happen. It's just
Nah, because
not. It's like a
you can't build a building on a crumbly foundation. It's eventually
mm-mm,
it's not gonna work. It's gonna crumble.
it's gonna
It is what
crumble
it is.
each time.
But I think if we, as women, stop
Hmm.
ignoring the red flags and stop justifying them, that's the thing. We ignore
Yes.
them and we justify them. Stop making
Yep.
excuses because, girl, he's not making a damn excuse for you. He's
Nope.
not telling his friends, well, yeah, she did. No, no. All he's doing
Mm-mm.
is saying, you know what? I don't want no woman like that. And
Yep.
that's fine. And I think if more women stop being afraid of being alone
Yep.
for 10 minutes, because the
Hmm.
reality of it is no woman has to be alone.
Mm-mm.
Bottom
Mm-mm.
line, we don't.
Nope. At
So
all.
it it is what it is. Like literally, a woman can feel like, oh my God, I'm this age. Do you understand? There is a thing for everybody. There's a thing for big girls, there's a thing for skinny girls, there's a thing
Yep.
for short girls, there's a thing for older women, there's a thing for
Yep.
classy women, there's a thing for trashy women, there's a thing for
Mm-hmm.
thugs. There's a thing. We have so many things as women. We have to remember how powerful we are and stop letting the bullshit affect us. We hold all the
Yeah.
power.
And
Literally, if
stop.
it came down to a
Mm-hmm.
power trip of who can finagle and maneuver better, low key, women hands down. Women hands down. Most of us have been exposed to some of the sneakiest snakes out there and been put on game
Mm.
long time ago by our brothers, our
Huh.
uncles, our fathers. I mean, we've
Huh.
seen them either do it or we
Preach
watched them do it or they've
or
told us,
heard it.
don't let
Mm-hmm.
somebody do you filthy like this. We just as
Exactly.
women just gotta stand on it. Like,
Yep.
man, listen, when if I'm single or if I'm going through something and a breakup is imminent, it's imminent. I used to hold on, but then I remember them red flags and be like, nah. Because at the
Yeah.
end of the day, if he wanted you, he would move accordingly. Because
Yep.
if you, when you wanted him, you moved accordingly.
Yep.
Stop making excuses for these men and then stand on what you stand on. If you
Exactly.
accept the behavior, accept the behavior. Keep it pushing. But you can't expect him to show you every red flag in the book and he's expect him to stay in a relationship himself because that's what happens. We ignore the red flags, complain about the red flags over and over and over and over, and nothing changes. He leaves because he's sick
Yep.
of the nagging.
Right.
There's a bitch that don't care about them red flags. She out there somewhere,
And he can
and
go
he
there.
gonna find her. Yeah, and he
And
could
he
go
can go
find
right
her.
over there.
Yeah,
Because
just like that.
no. No.
I think women just
Mm-mm.
have to stop being scared. I used to
Yeah.
be I was never afraid of red flags because I always really just wanted to see. I will make you feel so
Mm-hmm.
comfortable that I see every side of you.
Mm-hmm.
But I need to see every side of you. And then I need to determine whether you're worthy of my love, my time, my energy, my my ambition. Because I swear to God, every time I get in a relationship, I make somebody else rich by helping them create a business. You know what I mean? And that's a good thing.
Exactly.
That's a good thing about me. I
Mm-hmm.
am definitely a foundational woman. I'm a building. Let's grow. Two incomes, two
Mm-hmm.
this. You
Mm-hmm.
know, let's both get to it. But at the end of the day, if that energy isn't matched, that's not a red flag. That's just grow up and move on.
Yeah.
Share that with someone that is receptive and
Exactly. And
stop
that's the
wasting
thing.
time trying to change a red flag.
And that's the thing, the receptive
Fuck
part of
with
it.
who
So,
fucks with you.
mhm, boom.
Fuck with who fucks with you. Period.
Exactly. That's it. I think if we stay on the intentional, again, being very
Yeah.
intentional
Mm-hmm.
and not wavering, not, you know, just getting distracted. No,
Mm-hmm.
stay intentional.
Yeah.
And if you
And
are a
not
certain
thought shit.
way, get that.
Not thought
Huh?
shit. Not
Right.
thought shit.
No, no.
Just be a boss and be
Right.
intentional.
And get one. That's that way. If you're a boss, get a boss. Because if
Yeah.
you don't, it's going to be a problem forever.
Yeah.
That's
That's a
it.
whole nother topic. A man dealing with an ambitious woman when he himself is not. That's a whole nother topic. We'll hit that one another day.
Let me write that one down.
Right.
Put that on the list. Yes.
But this was a good show. I hope
Yes.
that both men and women will find it, you know, informative. Just a different perspective of, I don't know. I always share an opinion and point of view from my own experiences that I could pull
Experience.
from it, other people's
Mm-hmm.
experiences that they shared with me, what I've
Mm-hmm.
seen, what I've heard, and just put it all together. It's helpful to somebody because I
It
know I'm
is.
helpful.
Girl. Me too. So, I mean, yeah, I think it was very beneficial. And the last one that I have is when they insisting you change who you are at your core.
Mm.
Because
But that
everyone,
doesn't that's not a conversation. Those are subtle behaviors over time.
right, exactly. But everyone is who they are at their core. Now, you can want to be better, you can strive to be better. That's great. That's but that has to be something you want to do. It can't be something that someone's telling you have to do because
Right.
you will never do it. Number one. Number two, if you do, you're going to be resentful
Hmm.
because it's not who you are at
Yeah,
your core. So that is very, very, very important to
it
also
is.
look at. Yes,
Yeah, absolutely.
there it is. There it is. That's it. That's all. Makes sense to me.
Make it make sense.
All right. It all makes sense to me.
Hmm.
So, well, Thursday we have a really, really cool show because we're going to do our dating coach is going to come on, a
Nice.
certified dating coach, and we get to ask questions. And it's
I
a guy.
like it.
So, yes.
Nice.
So we get to ask
Good. So
him
we get a
questions.
male's perspective. That's really good.
Yeah, yeah. And he's certified. So he went through the classes, he did all that. He's
Hmm.
not, he didn't wake up one day and say, I just want to give dating advice. No, he actually has the certifications. He is
Nice.
certified for it, and he actually has clients. And so
Nice.
he's a dating and relationship coach. So
Nice.
relationship questions can also be thrown in there too. So we're gonna
I just want to
see.
hear how he perceives and navigates dating, and what he sees from a male's perspective
Right.
about dating, because I think men are challenged by a lot of the things that we are too. When it comes to quality over quantity. There are a
Mm-hmm.
lot of really good guys out here
Mm-hmm.
looking
They are.
for amazing women who are
Yes.
behind
Mm-hmm.
um, the person they're with is blocking their
Mm.
dream from coming through, blocking their
Yeah.
blessing,
Yeah.
you know. So it happens.
I definitely have
We
a lot of questions.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited about that show.
That's gonna be really good. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
Hmm.
that's gonna be Thursday. So I'm excited about that. And yeah, you want to do an outro, Chica? What was your last
Um,
outro? What did you say last? You said don't be.
my outro this time is fuck with who fucks with you.
Boom.
Period.
There it is.
Fuck with who fucks with you. Cause I'm
And
telling
don't
you,
waver.
don't waver at all.
Don't
Don't
waver.
don't hesitate, ladies. Don't
Mm-mm.
think about it.
Mm-mm.
Just do it.
Like
Red
Nike
flag, you
says.
see it, don't dwell on it. Make a decision about it right then
Mm-hmm.
and there and stand on it. Whatever that is,
Mm-hmm.
just make the decision and stand on it.
Exactly.
Set your own
Exactly.
expectation and move accordingly.
There it
Stop getting
is.
caught out there by
There
your
we
own
go.
by your own admission. Like, just stop it. We gotta tighten up. Period.
Absolutely. Sounds good to me. All right, Chica. So Thursday it is.
See you all then. Bye.
Wow.